Back in the 90s, back in the 80s, people just thought that technical advancement happened. Just willy-nilly, really. It happened sometimes here, sometimes there, but there was no study of it. There was no analysis of it. And then there was some work done in the early 90s that showed that technical innovation only happened in countries and at times where there were certain conditions in place. And following on the heels of that, Europe instituted the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. And this is no conventional university. Rather, it brings together business, researchers and education to have ideas and to exploit them in a business setting. And the intention, the drive, is to try and solve European society's problems. So there's a lot of research into climate change and environmental effects. There's a lot of research into renewable energy and energy storage. And there are many other areas too. But these are the world's most pressing challenges. But this is a structured way of having technical ideas that are worth exploiting and then having the business acumen in place to exploit it and make sure it goes to market in a successful way.
As an MEP, how exactly are you involved in the EIT?
Okay. Well, when I came here, I had never heard of the EIT. But I was interested in the concept, and as part of the CULT committee, because we deal with education matters, I got the task of basically driving the discussion on the innovation agenda for the next 7 years. So the agenda and the budget come up for review every 7 years, and this time I've been working through the Commission's proposals. I've been making changes, making amendments, making sure that technical education remains at the heart of this, and that high standards are there, as well as the drive to expand the activities across Europe. At the moment, it's a little bit too focused in Germany, France, and, oh yes, in the UK. The UK benefits massively from being part of the EIT. We have over 100 businesses, research centres and education institutions that are part of the EIT, that work together on these technical ideas and bringing them to market. And in 2018, we received more than 20 million euros worth of grants, which is fantastic. And we are at the moment reviewing the budget, we're reviewing the agenda for the next 7 years. And my role as part of the CULT committee, I've been given the task of reviewing the legislation, reviewing the innovation agenda, and making sure that technical education remains at the heart of it all, and that ambition remains at the heart, at the same time as spreading the ambition across all of Europe. I've been responsible basically for providing a considered opinion on what Europe needs and whether Europe is getting what it wants from this institution. You've got an institute like a university, even if it is slightly different, and you need to have an agenda. You need to know what it is trying to achieve, and you need to have written into law, if you like, written into its guidance, enough measures to make sure that it's successful. And there's a lot of very good, very well thought through rules and guidance about business and entrepreneurial skills, which are based on an audit that happened a couple of years ago. But I felt that the technical education was being taken for granted in that. And therefore I've written back in a lot of guarantees for technical education, for the bringing together of technical education and entrepreneurial spirit and skills, which is at the heart of everything the EIT is about, but I like to see it written down. And also ambition. The EIT isn't well known, and at first I was concerned that's because it wasn't very good. But I can tell you that some of the research, some of the products that are being brought to market through the EIT are amazing. Some of the services that are being conceived and provided by researchers in the UK, I should say, are excellent. So we need to make sure that that standard is maintained, and everybody also agrees that we need to be talking about it more.
So, given the bringing together of the business, the education, and the research, just why is it so important? Why is it part of everything the IT does?
If you have no entrepreneurial skills, if you have no understanding of how to exploit intellectual property, or indeed to check intellectual property, if you don't have those skills, then the idea just stays in the lab. You have nothing. And the EIT it was right at the heart of it, is the idea that the EU will benefit from innovation, and we will benefit in terms of addressing society's challenges. We'll benefit in terms of education, but we'll also benefit in terms of having ideas that we can sell to the rest of the world and that we can sell across Europe, and services that we can sell across Europe to make the world a better place.